everyone. So real quick, for your week 17 first assignment, today we are just going to be reviewing how you go from standard form to vertex form. So standard form, if you remember, looks like this. It will tell you the y-intercept. And vertex form looks like this, and it will tell you the vertex. Now notice all of these equal y, and I didn't put equals y in my equation, which is fine for now. We're not going to worry about that too much. So to go from standard form to vertex form, that is where we separate our x's together, and this whole process is known as completing the square. So that's where, when I showed this to you, we added that square in there. So what I'm going to do is get you started on a couple of these and then let you finish it, and then when you're done, you should check your answers. So just starting with the first one, when I group my x's together, I will be adding a square, and then my non-x term will go outside of it, and I'll take away that square. And we're going to get that square filled in by taking this number, so that's -2, and you always cut it in half for -1, and then we're going to square it, which is 1. So 1 will go here, and then you just double check, is that square really worth 1? And it is. I kind of mentioned something about a bunny hop, and if there is a number here, it's a 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. So I'm really adding 1. So to keep this the same as what I started with, I'll take away that 1. Because remember, then a positive 1 and a negative 1 can cancel out, and I still have x squared minus 2x minus 5. It just looks different. So from there, I'm going to go to start writing this. So if you want an a, there is an invisible 1, and you can put it there, but I take invisible 1s out. It does say x minus, and we do x plus. And then the number that goes in front of this squared is the number that's of this squared. And then the k behind it, I'll take -5, I'll subtract 1, which gives me a -6. So from there, what I want to know is, what are the key points for each form? So this is standard form. It will tell me the y-intercept. I can just see it. It's always 0 for x, and then -5 at the end. And then in vertex form, I can see the vertex. I'll take the opposite of what I see in the parentheses, so I'll use 1, and then I'll take the number at the end, but I won't do the opposite, and there's my vertex. So let's just try a different one. Let's jump to number 2. So in number 2, when I group my x's together, when I first showed you this and I showed you those algebra tiles, I never worked with 2 of the x squareds, I 1. So as I put this together, I'll want to make this squared and not 2x squared, so I'm going to take a 2 out, but I'm also going to take the 2 out of there, so it's kind of like a GCF. And I'm going to add my square and subtract my square. So again, this number does all the work. I'm going to take 2, I always cut it in half. I'm going to take this number and I always square it, and then 1 goes in the box. And now I just want to double check, is that square really worth 1? And if you look, it's really 2 times 1, which is 2. So I'll bunny hop over here, and since I added 2, really, I'll take away 2. So now making my parentheses square, the number that I'd put in front, my a, would be this 2 this time. I'll do x plus, and since I have a 1 in front of this squared, I'll put a 1 in front of this squared. And then -3, take away 2 more, is -5. So from here, I've got my vertex. It's going to be -1, opposite of this number, and this. And then up here, I can get my y-intercept, and that will be 0 with that number, -3. All right, one more, and then I'm going to let you practice. So the one I'm going to jump down to now, and 7 and 8 are similar. Let's do the 8. Technically, there is a -1 in front of here. So do group these x's together. I will have to take out the -1, which will make this x squared, and this will be a positive 4x. And here I'm adding my square. There goes my non-x term, and subtract my square. And I'll take 4, cut it in half, square it, and then put 4 there. And then I double check, is it really worth 4? And as it turns out, it's not. -1 times 4 is actually -4. And so now my parentheses squared, I'll put my a in, so -1 x plus, and I'll put the 2 in because that's what's in front of the squared. And now 4, take away -4. If that troubles you, get a calculator, but when you subtract a negative, that's like you adding a positive. So it really is 4 plus 4, so I'm going to get an 8. So now my vertex, -2, -8, and my y-intercept is 0, 4. So now what you're going to do is you're going to finish the rest. When you check your answers, work will be shown for some of them, but not necessarily all of them. That's it.